On February 28, 2025, amid the breakdown of negotiations between Ukrainian President Zelensky and U.S. President Trump, Zelensky, as the President of Ukraine, might consider combining the logic of realpolitik, the ancient Chinese strategic wisdom, such as the practical strategies from the 36 strategies, and the diverse perspectives of the international community to formulate pragmatic strategies that safeguard Ukraine's interests while repairing its relationship with the United States. First, drawing on the 30th strategy, turning the guest into the host. This approach positions Ukraine as the litmus test for America's global leadership. It emphasizes that supporting Ukraine is a low-risk, high-return investment in containing Chinese and Russian expansion, while leveraging think tanks and media to showcase the tactical value of Ukraine's battlefield experience for NATO, ultimately aiming to secure the support of the U.S. military and the defense industrial complex. Second, drawing on the 18th strategy, toss out a brick to attract jade. This approach proposes using the opening of Ukraine's black soil agricultural investments, lithium mining rights, or digital infrastructure market as bargaining chips to attract lobbying efforts from U.S. agricultural states and tech giants. Simultaneously, it calls for launching a NATO-Ukraine Joint Innovation Center, inviting American companies to spearhead the development of drone and AI battlefield systems, thereby embedding commercial interests into security cooperation. Third, drawing on the 9th strategy, watching the fires burn across the river. This approach involves sending moderate signals of cooperation with China, such as restarting grain export negotiations, to stimulate American strategic anxiety. At the same time, it entails privately submitting a China-Ukraine contact limitation list to the U.S., promising exclusive cooperation in key technological sectors, thereby prompting the U.S. to reevaluate Ukraine's geopolitical value. Fourth, drawing on the 34th strategy, the self-inflicted injury strategy, this approach involves orchestrating high-profile frontline inspections at critical moments, such as the anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and live streaming, the consequences of Russian military attacks via social media. It also calls for inviting U.S. legislators to visit the Kharkiv AI Defense Industrial Complex to vividly demonstrate how every dollar of aid is transformed into NATO's frontline combat capability. Additionally, it proposes collaborating with American evangelical groups to hype up Russian oppression of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, framing support for Ukraine as defending the front line of Christian civilization. Simultaneously, a Hollywood documentary on Ukraine's digital warriors would be produced to craft the image of freedom knights in the digital age, garner sympathy from young voters by linking aid to Ukraine with defending democracy and fracturing traditional conservatives and isolationists within the Republican Party. Fifth, drawing on the 20th strategy, deck the tree with false blossoms, this approach implies that if the West abandons Ukraine, it will be forced to reevaluate the legitimacy of its 1994 decision to relinquish nuclear weapons. Through Thing, tanks, unofficial nuclear retention feasibility reports are released to provoke intervention from the American establishment over the risks of losing control. Meanwhile, Ukraine is being positioned as a global spiritual totem of anti-authoritarianism by issuing freedom bonds and NFT digital memorabilia to attract global private capital. In conjunction with SpaceX, a crowdfunding campaign for the Starlink Ukraine Freedom Corridor is launched, transforming Ukraine into a digital republic of the Web 3.0 era, thereby forcing the U.S. government to compromise in order to maintain its moral authority. Conclusion: Nonlinear games and agenda resetting. Zelensky must adopt a hybrid warfare mindset to counter Trump's art of deal-making. Militarily, he should demonstrate the resilience of withstanding without U.S. aid, for example, by announcing a mass production plan for domestically made Beaver unmanned boats. Economically, he needs to create anxiety over American companies missing out on Reconstruction dividends. And in the realm of public opinion, he should craft a moral dilemma, based on the idea that history will judge the bystanders. By employing a multi-layered, interwoven strategy that blends reality with artifice, the U.S. Ukraine relationship can be transformed from a narrative of charity and begging to one of shared risks and mutual benefits, ultimately reestablishing strategic balance amid adversity. The above strategies do not represent the values or views of this channel. They are analyzed from the perspective of the Ukrainian president on how to repair the U.S.-Ukraine relationship. If you're inspired by strategies like this and want to explore more about ancient wisdom and modern applications, subscribe to the Light of Thought channel now. Let the light of wisdom guide your path.